Well, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We just... Oh, oh, the magic has happened. It is wondrous. My straw is showing. Nobody wants their straw showing. That would be terrible. And nobody needs to see that I've got my clothes on. That would be very bad. Very professional. I know. You're expecting A-star standards, but I'm afraid that I am very disappointing. Hello, and Foxes take over. And hello, Blue. How are you guys doing? How's the heat stroke? I have the biggest fan in the world on right now. I mean, genuinely, it's like the biggest fan in the world. It's huge. And I got the window open, and I got the curtain down to try and keep the heat down, but I'm still very warm, so it's not worth, really. I gotta take my clothes on now. Hi, Kai Husky, how you doing? Hello, everyone else as well, obviously. Hello, Emo Fox. Hello, RT. I hope you guys are doing wonderfully. Hello, Frumpy. It is going to be very warm, which means I'm probably going to try and keep this not too long. Long enough, but not too long, because I don't really want to melt. I specifically remember doing the London Summer Meet 2 years back. God, 2 years back. And it was like a 20-something degree day in London, and London's already feels warm because it's very enclosed anyway. And I came back from shooting for like an hour, after about an hour of shooting, and I was just damp, and I like changed back into like my normal clothes, and I was like, you know what, I just feel horrible, and I cannot do anything about it. I had to drive all the way from London back to Wales as well. I was like, I feel awful. This is the worst. I'm sure that's what you've come here for. Sweaty stories. Very attractive. I know. Going to London Thursday. I do like London. I miss it a lot. I miss the London meets a lot, to be fair. I do enjoy them. I'm hoping we get them back soon. Certainly as soon as possible, because that would be great. But yes, Fursuit AMA time. I owed it. I said I was going to do it. I promised. I found time. In fact, I had a day off work today anyway. I'm going to do this. And so I've got 41 questions, which is pretty good, I think. Although there's one or two that are a bit unusual. Some good questions as always. And I'm fully expecting you guys to come up with some good ones as well. I'm looking forward to it. Shall I make a start? Is everyone ready? Is everyone sat down? Popcorn? Alcohol? I don't have alcohol, I have water. Like that, you can tell how warm it is, so I've had to just forego alcohol for like actual hydration. It's very crucial. You don't want to be doing that unless you have to. Let's start with, I got my little curious cat thing up. And the first question, which I'm not sure if I'm a little bit offended about or not, is do you regret having a simple OC? No, because it made no alcohol. I don't regret it because it made my suit cheaper, because I only had to choose a 4 swatch palette. Hi FJ, how you doing? So basically the way, and if you ever get a fursuit anywhere in life, you'll find this, is the number of colours determines how much you pay. So it was pretty good really that I went for a fairly simple suit. Like when I go and get my wild dog done as a suit, that's going to cost extra because it's got more colours and it's a more complex pattern. Like the way Jags is designed, like the only thing that was really complex is, you can't see it because I put my paws on over it. Thank you very much for the follow, FJ. That's not going to get annoying. Do I have to mute you, Streamlabs? Do I have to do that? I might have to do that. And thank you for following Kai Husky. Yeah, before I do anything else, I'm going to mute Streamlabs. Or will that be... screw it, I'll leave it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. I'm not worried. Hi, Rick. You've seen this fursuit donated not on a dirty website. You haven't been looking hard enough then, have you? Yeah, I don't really regret. I really like the design of Jax's is like. Well, the only change I've ever made to Jax's design since making him like 9 years ago is making sure that the white of his belly showed on my rep sheet and adding red markings on the legs, which I did before I got my suit. Everything else is the same since the very first rep sheet I got like many years ago. Scrolling, this is fun. I Love You by someone on. Will we hear Wolfie tonight? He's hiding downstairs playing games. I love you. I love you too, random person who I don't know who you are. I clearly have deep feelings of affection for you as well, despite having met you. You do sometimes, like, when you ask these questions, sometimes you just get some, like, it's like, ask me anything, and then so it's like, you're very fluffy, and you're like, well, it's not really a question, is it? Like, thank you, but it's not really a question, you know? You haven't really, like, gone out your way to think of something insightful and deep, you've just said that. Who would I rather hang out with, Nick the singing dog or Fox or more? Thank you for keeping the street safe. I don't know who Nick the singing dog is, so I'm going to have to say Fox, since I actually know who he is. I have no clue who Nick is. Let's scroll on. This is agony, actual agony. With pause. Next, I don't know who he is. Sorry, so I don't know. I think someone's asked me that name before though, and I never looked them up, which is probably my own fault. Scroll you too far. Nope, no clue. Genuinely no clue. Never heard of him. Oh my god, the scrolling. Screw it, I'll do scrolling. Is there anything that could have stopped you from getting a fursuit? Well, getting turned down for 2 separate quotes could have stopped me from getting my fursuit. Or if I hadn't had the right money at the right time, would have stopped me. I was going to, once I decided to make the decision, I was going to get one. It did take me a while to decide that, because I wasn't going to get one originally. Only after a little while I decided to do it. But having made the decision that I was going to do it, I went through a load of makers and I made the decision. And then when Lacey eventually said, I'll make your suit, I was like, okay. And I just found money out of thin air, basically, to make sure it happened. A lot of money. Probably more than I should have been paying at the time when I did it. But I made it happen. So I was like, I want one. And life is short. Life is probably shorter when you can't afford to eat because you bought a fursuit, but details. See, Cheno S, right? Very good. I actually had a look what this means in Spanish, and it didn't make sense there either. It was just a statement, so, you know, good effort, I guess. I don't know. I did try and look it up. I was a little bit like, I wonder if that means something interesting, but it was just like, you are there, or something like that. It was something weird like that. I didn't actually like follow on to what I thought it would mean. I think share is the you, something like that, in Spanish of some description. Well, it looks like Spanish of some description. I don't know. British don't speak Apple or Android. Android. Because I'm not a pretentious prick. No, actually, I've had both. I did like my iPhone. The only reason I went with an Android is I went with the Google Pixel because it was significantly cheaper on the contract by like £20. Yeah, no. I do still use my Apple device. I use it for my alternative Pokemon Go account for cheating, basically, a spoof on the server account. Now, for some reason, despite Apple having much higher security for apps, it's a lot easier to spoof on an Apple device. CX or CX? Like a saxophone? I can't play the saxophone, so. And I'm allergic to chocolate, basically, so that one's off the table. Yeah. Have you ever wanted to meet your US friends at the FurCon one day? or if you get a chance to go to one, I will get to go to one eventually. I want to do AmphroCon. And yes, I have many friends that want to meet at Furcons. And if I name them all, it would be unfair because I'd forget some of them off. But you know, you've got the likes of Daza, Kisma, Minado, Azoru, all those lovely people who I would love to go see one day. And I'd love to see some of my European friends as well, like Kana at Eurofronts. There's many people I'd like to see at many different cons. Because all of my good friends live very far away. It's very upsetting. Like Casius, who lives all the way down south in the middle of nowhere. Like, nobody lives down there. It's just him and 1,000 sheep. And his girlfriend, but more thinking of the sheep. Yeah. Let's just see the next question, right? And it's very relevant right now, the answer. So the next one is when I can. Given that I can't scroll on this mouse, this next one is going to be pretty potent. I just right clicked it. Oh, fine. I'll take my hand off. You happy now? What's it like to have a fursuit? Well, considering I literally could not use the. Alright, Dimitri, have a good sleep. 2 o'clock in the morning is too early on a school night. Go get some sleep. Be bright and early tomorrow. What's it like to have a fursuit? Well, considering I couldn't even use the scroll on my mouse, I would say it's somewhat inhibiting. Arguably. It's still a school night. I'm 29 and I still call it a school night. Trust me. Yeah, it's very good for like go away Windows. It's cool for like conventions and stuff because you get to see what made me pick Lacey. Well, originally I was going to go with a maker called Blue Fox, who's a British maker, because they were fairly cheap comparatively. And I thought I was operating on more of a budget than I had. And then I went with Zuri, who, considering they recently sold a suit for $50,000, probably might have been outside of my budget, nowadays considerably. But when Blue Fox turned me down, in fact, they turned me down twice, because I did it the first time. And then the second time, they turned me down, and I was quite upset actually. And I was out for a meal with friends, and the discussion was going on, and like Tamari was there, and Nina was there, and a couple of other people were there, and they were like, "Well, just email Lacey, see what she says." Like, you consider getting a Lacey suit, and the only, thank you very much, sir. And the only thing that, hi Theo, thank you very much. But and I was a bit upset about it really at the time. I think it's going on. And then I basically was like, "Oh, why don't you just message Lacey and we'll just see if you can get it. We can afford to do it, basically. We'll just go for it, whatever." So we came for it, got a reply. "Oh, hello, Kinta. Hello." We did the email, got a reply, all good, did the acceptance, and straight through. It basically went straight through, wasn't a problem. "Hello, yo Wolfie, how are you doing?" Yeah, but what's it like to have a fursuit? Depends on the circumstance, I think. At a convention, I don't really like the argument that you need a fursuit to enjoy the furry fandom, but I will say, not so much at meets. At meets is a bit meh. I actually think meets go kind of better with that, with the exception of like, you do the suiting portion of a meet, like go to London first, you do the suiting up bit, and then you get out of suit, and then you actually enjoy the rest of your time. Like, you know, being able to go have a drink with friends or whatever, it doesn't really work in suit. You go do the photo opportunity, do the suit walk, then come back. I figured actually, like, it's only a portion of it. For conventions, it does change quite a bit because how you interact with the convention tends to be oriented more around the fursuit. Not to say that you wouldn't have fun without a fursuit. I went to convention without a fursuit, but it definitely feels very different because it kind of centers it for me a bit. Like, you tend to think more like I'm going to go suiting as opposed to I'm just going to the lobby to dick about. I don't know. It does change your perspective a bit. Yeah, it's fun for conventions around the house. I know people who wear their suit around the house quite a bit. Not something I tend to do. I tend to be a little bit like, I want my suit to last like 20, 30 years as long as possible without having to need too many repairs, so I only wear it when I'll put it on to take a fair few photos for content, or I'll go to a friend's house and wear it. I don't really wear it just around the house for fun, for example. It's not that I wouldn't enjoy doing it so much, but it's such a faff to put it on. It is so much effort. It took me like 15 minutes today. Oh, that's partly because Nino is very much a perfectionist when it comes to brushing my suit. And he'll make me stand there and he'll make sure everything's perfect before he lets me get on. Because he's very sweet, but he's very perfectionist. This is a question from Emo that I nicked from my last Instagram questionnaire because it was a good question. What's the funniest thing that's happened when you've suited up? It does. Let me look his best. The funniest thing that's probably happened to me in suit is probably the London Fizz summer party where we went to a park and it was just full of people and everyone was like, oh my god, there's just loads of people in animal costumes. This is amazing. You know, I mean, like loads of random pictures with random people walking by, and like there was all Chinese tourists, didn't speak a word of English, but they were like trying to communicate with you because they were just like, ah. That was funny. It was very entertaining. It was like, hi, Winfrey, how are you doing? It was good. It was enjoyable. It was certainly something. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you were there. I forget about you all the time, Blue. I only remember popular theories. Yeah. I'm very mean to my friends, in case you didn't realize. The more I like someone, the more mean I am. It's a terrible affliction to be my friend. Ouch, my my feels. Be mean to me. You're too lovely for me to be mean. I don't know how to be, Kinta. I wouldn't know what to start with. You're very nice instead of very, very nice. There you go, I've been mean. Sad coloured fur. I forgot. Basically, because Blue was comparing blue foxes to red foxes, and I just pointed out he was a sad coloured fox, because obviously blue is sad. Didn't point out that I'm orange and I'm the colour of, traffic, but you've got to take what you can get, really. You just got to slip a burner. Yeah, probably the London Summers party was funny. Doing the photo shoot I did with Roast You, Emo Fox. You want to find someone else on Grindr and we'll see who else is in? Please, pet. I will give myself pet for you. Small pet. One small pet. But yeah, I would say the London party. But definitely doing any form of public suiting. If you've done public suiting and you're doing photos and you're the only person in suit, it's kind of weird. Like we did the mountain shots last year. Actually, this is pretty much the perfect weather for going to do a mountain shot, so I probably won't be far off doing another round of it. But you're standing on top of a rock on a mountain in fursuit by yourself, and there was like people driving past just looking at you like, what are you doing? Like you're in the middle of a Welsh valley. It's not really common. Hi Nathan, how are you doing? I wonder if it's easier to arrow down. It is easier, it's just very slow. But I'm a fan of it being easier. Do I prefer salty or creamy? It depends, really. Yeah, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee, but I wouldn't have creamy crisps, so... Generally salty, though, because I'm not sweet at all, I'm very bitter. Thank you, I feel very cute. Actually, I feel very warm, that's the first one. In fact, I'm going to have a sippy sip of my water. There's already a second stream I did, hello human hand. Hang on, let me just hide it. I need to take some water in because otherwise I'm going to die. God, that was like no water at all. Yeah, I did a, well, I meant to do a Pokemon randomizer this morning, but then it went horribly wrong. So I gave up and I streamed Banjo-Kazooie instead for speedrun practice. Although I'm hoping to hear back sometime this week about whether I'm going to be doing a Wind Waker run for fastest first. I've submitted to do like a showcase run for Wind Waker, and I want to see if I can submit glitchless. Thank you very much for the host. I would love to get a glitchless run on, because I haven't done glitchless in ages, and I got to do a glitchless race with the Wind Waker community anyway. And I think it'd be a good, because I really don't like doing glitched runs for people who've never seen Wind Waker speedruns, because they are completely confusing. At least a glitchless run, you can sort of explain what's going on. When it's like, especially as you guys who've been watching me a while know, I do a glitch on it, right? I'm just going to do something called an item sign. I'm going to get like 5,000 units of speed, yeet myself across the ocean, and then suddenly I'm in a completely different part of the map, and then I'm going to break through a barrier, and then suddenly I'm in Ganon's castle. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to people who don't know, and it's probably not fair. It's great for, like, if you're interested in speedrunning. If you have no clue, you're better off watching a glitchless run. So I'm going to try and do a glitchless run, even though it's like 5 hours. I don't know why someone asked me if I've been sprayed by a skunk before. The answer's no, but I've been around enough musky huskies to think that that's probably a favourable answer. Trust me, day 4 of a convention, I probably would take the skunk after some of the stuff that's thing there. Even worse with music festival. Christ, music festival, you're like 5 days in a wet, muddy field and nobody's had a shower. I dread to even like describe the smell. You can see it. It's like a cartoon. It's a haze off the ground. Haze. And Zavota asked me why I'm the best fox, and the answer is clearly because I'm princess. Obviously. Like, what do we do with it? How could I be anything but the best? But these people must ask these questions as if they don't know the obvious. You've got to try and explain to these peasants what they should already know. Don't clip that. So on Instagram, what do I like most about my fursuit? Peasants. Can you wear my tiara? Oh, what am I getting in return? Would it fit over your antlers? I have concerns. I really like the colour. I didn't actually get to see anything about my suit. I didn't get to pick the fur. I didn't get to see anything. I just gave an eye of. I'll give you one antler. All I saw was basically I got to choose the eye design, and then basically Lacey did the rest, and then I just got given the suit. So I didn't know what fur she was going to use. And when I first saw a picture, I was like, that is bright orange. That is tremendously bright orange. But honestly, she picked the perfect thing, because she's also picked like this really nice white. Like obviously white. You think white is white, but no, this is like a really vibrant white with the orange as well, and it makes the entire thing pop. I would say it makes the red markings hide a little bit, but the red on the ears also really pops as well, so everything stands out. It does make it a nightmare to edit. I will say, when you're editing photos, you've got to like try to find a filter that makes everything work. But I love how much it stands out, especially when like I do a group photo, I do photos with other people, and my suit just stands out. Who is most mental, me or Tam? Tam lives with Aiko, so I'm going to say he's pretty mental. Or is Aiko the mad one there? It's impossible to tell. It's like going into a sane asylum and saying who's the most sane person here. It's certainly not the people working there after that long, I would have thought. Yeah, I love the colour of my suit. I love the design anyway. I think the entire thing's beautiful. Like, I love the eyes. Like, Lacey went with a slightly different eye colour. If you want to look at another Lacey suit, an older one, like, say Tamari's for a good example. Tamari's is an older one. And then look at mine and compare the eyes. Mine has got like more animalistic eyes comparatively. And I really like those. It really makes it stand out and makes the green pop a bit more. Not that I have green eyes IRL. I just went with green because brown would be weird. What is the airspeed of a swallow? Surely it's unladen and it's African or European. Someone's asked this to see if I know Monty Python. Of course I know Monty Python. I'm in my late 20s, like, how could I not? And if you don't know who Monty Python are, I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Truly. Let's give some more buttons. Ooh, this is Rick's question. Where would you like to go for a fursuit photo shoot? God, there's so many places. I really want to go up a really tall mountain, like maybe Mount Snowdown or something, like right up and like have a really good overshoot, so you could like look down a valley and do photos. I'd love to go to a proper wooded area, even though there's loads by me, and do like some photo shoots in with the trees and do some natural stuff. I want to go to an abandoned building and do some like abandoned building shots. All those options that possibly are by me, but would take some like investigation. But those are that's 3 of the top options for me. Like wood shots, like valley, like over top of mountain shot, and abandoned building shots. So that's like 3. That's 2 pretty natural shots and 1 very I can't think of a good word for it, but like empty, like barren. Like all 3 are pretty barren, and none of them are very busy. I like but I've done city shoots before. I've done like going to London and doing all the photo shoots around London with all the buildings around me and everything. So I've done like the urban side. I quite like to do the nothing around me side. I think it'd be interesting. I've done like top of the mountain, looking down the valleys almost. When we did the photo shoot at the top between me and Nino, and they're lovely photos. Although nobody ever seems to like them when I post them. I don't know why. I love them. They're my favourites. But it's more like that. I love stuff like that, especially because in like green backgrounds, I really stand out. Especially so, like you see a mountain shot, it's like nice green, blue sky, box, nice green, blue sky, and then like I'm just dead in the middle, and I like being the center of attention, obviously. So I'm gonna want that, as you can imagine. Spicy candy or sour candy? What the hell's spicy candy? Does anyone know? I've never heard of spicy candy. I definitely opt for sour. I'm a very bitter person, as you can tell by the fact that I throw half my speedruns away and then throw a straw. But I would probably like spicy. I think it means like you get like really cinnamony sweets, and I think it means those. Like there are them. I remember them coming in a little packet. Oh, they all come in little pockets. And this was sweet. Like, this is a sweet packet. The biggest sweet packet in the world. I know. My Jeremy Clarkson impression completely off the charts. Power. Yeah. You get chili sweets. The next 12 or so are your questions. I'm okay with that. What is Ellie's reaction to seeing your suit? Well, she's in sleeper front of the fan right now, so I'm going to say she isn't bothered. What are spicy sweets, Artie? Send me some. I will try them for you. I'm interested. My dog is tremendously unbothered by my suit. She is asleep right now on the floor. Oh my god, the fan feels so nice. And she's just in sleep now in front of the fan to cool down. I don't remember her first... Actually, I think I got a picture of me high-fiving her, and that was like the first time I wore my suit, but she just doesn't care. She never like was like scared of it or anything. She just sort of like was whatever. So I got a high five out of her in Fursuit. What's the most pleasant sounding accent? Ooh, good question. I quite like some of the European ones, like Italian and French. New Zealand's very nice as well. I wouldn't say any of the British ones comparatively, but that's probably just because I'm so used to them. Like, you can have a very nice Welsh accent, but... Yes, we shall do full suit photos one day, Nino. Emo, not Nino. Well, obviously Nino as well, but... That's a different matter entirely. Oh my god, I've already been streaming for half an hour. I'm gonna die. What could you spend the whole day talking about? Absolutely. A list of things that I very much could. Speedrunning, I could talk all day about like times and best times and techniques and like glitches I found and ways of doing stuff. I could definitely do that all day. Cars, I could spend all day talking about cars. Games in general. There's so many things. Programming, I could spend all day talking about programming and like game design especially. Oh my god, if you please. You guys didn't see that, but I'm just rubbing my nose against the inside of that. There's loads of things. Music, I could probably enjoy music, but I think specifically, like, right now in terms of, like, main hobbies, definitely speedrunning would probably be up there. I could spend all day talking about it. Do you still have your MX-5? No, Blue. I bought a Ford Fiesta 4 years ago. In fact, I paid it off completely. It's now mine, and I finished paying for it yesterday. Hi there, FJ. No, I got rid of my MX-5 4 years ago after somebody, crashed it and then refused to drive it. And then I couldn't get the dog in there, which was definitely a problem, as you can imagine. But yeah, I finished paying off my Fiesta literally yesterday, so now I own it. God, my face is itchy. That car's definitely design-wise. I love the look of the design. I can't fix it. I fixed my Fiesta once. I will say I did fix my Fiesta. A hose between the throttle body and the air intake came loose, it like popped out, and you could tell immediately, like you rev it and it just go because there was air coming through it. But I did fix that myself because I refused to take it to the dealer. God, this hair getting in my face. It's very annoying. I haven't modded any of my cars. My Mazda was mildly modified in terms of it had louder exhaust on it, and they got on my nerves, to be honest. It's the same problem. I had a Focus ST, and you think it's cool to have like a really loud sounding sports car, but there was two circumstances where you don't want a loud sounding sports car. I used to get up stupidly early on Saturday mornings for work, and I used to park my car on the drive at my parents' house, and used to be backed up against the garage. So every day you'd start it, and the sound of it starting to reverberate against the garage, go all the way through the house and out into the street. So everyone knows 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday when I start the car, baby, and everyone's like, you W word. And at the petrol station, because you knew, you go there, you'd fill up with petrol, and you knew because of the sound of it, you'd turn it on, you knew what was going to happen, it would go, vroom, and everyone would look at you and go, you twat. And you just knew they were doing it as well. No one was looking at going, oh, he's cool, he's got a Focus ST. They're all looking and going, idiot. My Mazda was kind of the same. My Mazda was pretty loud, but it wasn't as bad as the Focus was. The Focus was too loud. And that was naturally loud. I didn't do anything with that. You just knew. Sometimes you'd like grab the bottle off. You'd like, this sounds pretty cool. And sometimes it would be just like, people think I'm a dick. I know they do. People absolutely think I'm a dick. Yeah, it's just like, you think it's cool in circumstances, and I think it sounds cool, but electric hybrid cars, I very much want one. In fact, we're talking about getting a Nino one. Alright, Yolofi, speak to you soon. We were toying with it for both of our cars. We don't think we get a charging point at the house, which was definitely a problem. So, because I actually considered getting the new Peugeot electric, because I think it's a really nice car. It's probably one of the nicest electric cars on the market, total. Not that I like saying it about a Peugeot, but the new Peugeots are very nice. And we talked about replacing both of our cars. We talked about getting Nino a new Mondeo, and that's going to be electric hybrid. He's got a new job, and he'll need an electric car, realistically. And my car, I'm going to keep the Fiesta to like get away with getting an electric hybrid or a fully electric, depending what happens. But that'll be my next car. I can't see myself getting another petrol car unless I don't have a choice. If I could charge her at home. What's my dream car? The Jaguar F-Type. That's what I named Jags after. I named him after the F-Type. I love the F-Type so much that when I was picking a name and I had to pick a name, I was like, I'm going to name him Jags. Because I specifically remember the Top Gear episode where it was like, I've got a Jag. So I just went with Jags. Yeah. And then I just put the S at the end. And that's what I named him after. That's why I put him Jags. It's just I was so obsessed with the F-Type at the time. And then I was just like thinking of the Top Gear where it's like, I've got a Jag. So I just put an S at the end and it just was like Jags, that'll do. In fact, realistically, Jags is supposed to have a surname when I first created him. I was going to call him Jags Romeo, as in like Alfa Romeo, because I had just got rid of my Alfa at the same time I created Jags. I can't remember. I must have only just bought my Focus at the time. And then I dumped the fast name. I do like the Audi TT. I've always liked the Audi TT, but it's the one car that, like, I don't know what I would buy over it. Like, I'd probably even have a BMW Z4 over the Audi TT now. Though I used to love the Audi TT on Need for Speed Most Wanted. Need for Speed Most Wanted, that's what I had. Yeah, I always had the Jags thing from Jags. If I had to spend $1 million, what would be the first thing I would buy? I would buy 1 million followers on Twitch and become famous. Or 1 million followers on Twitter. Or maybe I'd split it 50-50 and have 500,000 on one, 500,000 on the others. I think I could buy people for £1 a follower. What do you think? Or do you think it'd be £1.50? Please don't tell them. Don't tell them. I've been saving up for ages to get to my 400. Don't tell anyone. Please. No, I think $1 million. Well, if I got given $1 million, the first thing I'd buy, be a clever dick. The first thing I'd buy is probably the conversion of pounds. So I'd buy the pounds for the conversion. You follow me for a packet of crisps? I said, follow me, not sleep with me. I would probably, with the money, I'd probably buy a house first before I bought a car. I wouldn't bother with a fancy car and be living in the house I'm living in now and park on the road, so... I definitely buy a house first. I buy like a very nice house. Not the biggest house. I would want like a huge mansion, because I want big enough that I can fit all my stuff in. Like I want like a specific room for Fursuit and a specific streaming room, but small enough that I could clean it in a day. Like if you start cleaning in one room and by the time you finish cleaning the house you have to clean the first room again, your house is too big. And I already have to do that in this house and it's only a 2-bedroom. And that's just partly because of the dog. What are your hobbies outside of the furry fandom? Well, speedrunning and playing games, although I hate the term gamer, because there's so much negative connotation now about it, that it's very difficult to be like, yes, I play video games, to the degree where I now play video games as more of a hobby and like actually submitted tags and being competitive, both when I was doing Dota and with speedrunning, so I do it competitively, mainly now, with speedrunning, and I still would not call myself a gamer in any gamer. I would not call myself a gamer under anything because I don't really... The stigma's too bad. Is like, if you say gamer, you can just feel every single female and like every single lady in like a 1 mile radius just like do this instantly, and it's, you know, even though I'm gay, I probably don't want that effect. Other than that, drinking mainly. I know, I don't really do like building stuff. I love playing Magic the Gathering as well. Me and, you know, do both like collecting that as well and playing cards. Am I Welsh? I hate to say it, but you're Welsh too, Memphis. I don't know if anyone told you. Have you moved into your new place yet? When you move in? Is it soon or is it today? Gotcha. Got him. Yeah, females is a poor choice of word. Hi, Scott. Oh, back home and through. I just thought I'd ask. If your persona had to be colored beside orange, what color would you choose and why? Don't know. I don't know if I'd be a fox if I was orange. If I was picking a different color, I'd probably go with, say for example, a dog and be like brown. Like brown and red or something. Something along those lines. Oh, Memphis, please. Please don't do this on my stream. Nice, Memphis. Thank you very much for the 5 bits. What is it about fursuits that makes everyone a million times happier? Because when you see a fursuiter, you know that they are actually boiling to death and you're not. And trust me, I am boiling to death. I'm slowly roasting. In fact, if you measured my internal temperature right now, you'd consider me about the right temperature to make a loaf of bread. I reckon you could do this on my arm. You could fry an egg. They wouldn't be greatly fried, but you could do it. And that's what makes them happy. Look this way and like, hey, you're suffering, aren't you? Stupid bastard with your expensive carpet. Jack's a loaf of mince. So specific, making bread. Yes. You see a fox and you instantly think of bread. I mean bread. And my dog loafs all the time. What is your absolute main goal of being a Twitch streamer? Make lots of money. Hot tub streams, here we come. Rolling in the dollars. Someone give me the Monopoly money. Let me grab the Monopoly money so I... People making fun of you for being British? Making fun of you for being British? I'm not British. Titty streams. Twitch streaming is kind of the... I don't want to say it's a secondary aside. But I started Twitch streaming because I wanted to do speedrunning, and Twitch streaming is the best medium for doing the speedrunning because it's a really good way of recording it and putting it out there. And so I set up Twitch streaming as a side, and then I do stuff like this because it's a really good way of interacting with the community that's formed around me doing that. And so I don't really have a goal so much because the goal of Twitch streaming was to stream my speedruns. And more like, I have a lot of goals with speedrunning, and it's nice to share them with Twitch streams. Like, it's nice to be able to share, like, especially, like, very specific example, when I hit the 330 barrier of Wind Waker, and I switched the microphone off straight away, but I think it's pretty obvious I started crying, to be fair, and I won't even hide I did. But sharing that specific moment and not being sat by myself and doing it in the house to say, I did it, being like in a group with a load of people and being able to share and say, I did this thing, you guys are with me, like, you watched me, you tried this for months, and then do it, and that was amazing, and that's sort of the goal. So the more people I can share that with, the better, obviously. I'm not going to be one of the people that says, like, oh, I don't really care about a follow card. It's nice to have. It's the same with Twitter. It's nice to share the experience with more people because it makes it feel, better. It is what it is. You can't hide it. I wouldn't lie about it, certainly. I'm not going to say that I'm only in it for the followers, but I wouldn't lie and say that it doesn't make a difference. But it's nice to have a community that's formed around watching me try to achieve these things, and then me actually achieving these things and being able to share it with the community. That does matter to me. I do like that. And I would do like the idea of setting up my own community as well and having people meet each other and set up their own streams and do stuff inside there and doing that as well. It does feel nice. Share the third picture of camera roll, no cheating. I'm not allowed to because Twitch will actually ban me. Stop that. You want to rain money on another suit? I absolutely want another suit. I've already picked the maker. In fact, I was talking to Nino only 2 days ago about if I wanted to start considering putting a deposit down for another suit. I want to go to Twinkie Arts because she does really great dog suits, and I want to get my wild dog done. And I think Twinkie Arts has done one wild dog to my memory, and they did an amazing one. So I want to go with them, and we've had the wild dog. But the problem is that in the next year we're going to be like completely redecking out half the house. So it probably will be next year. But I think 2023 I'll probably start trying to put money together to put a deposit down for a suit because I really do want a wild dog suit as well, and I specifically want Bonk. Why would you redeem Bonk? Why would you want me to hurt myself? Now I'm sad. MFI is nice. Yeah, there's a couple. I really like Kloof suits. I really like the Kloof suits. I especially like their paw designs. I was actually tempted to get some of the fur Lacey used to make Jags and get Kloof just to make new paws for me because they do really nice paws and they do paws that let you use your phone. What kinds can I do next year? I will struggle to do Confuzzle now because from what it looks like, either I go up with a friend and I do like Thursday, Friday to Monday, Tuesday, and I go up with a friend, and then Nino meets me and comes in the middle. Or if I come with Nino, we'll have to come on Friday night and leave Sunday afternoon. So it's a bit of a struggle. So basically it's either come by myself and have a couple of days by myself, so basically be in a situation where I might be either sharing a room or basically having friends help me, or do a shorter one. In the summer, depends again. I'd quite like to do something like Eurofriends or Anthrocon, but again, I think next year we're going to focus on getting the house decked out a bit because it needs doing now. It's very desperate. So we'll probably try and do Confuzzled, then maybe Ferk near the end of the year, and then that'll be it because pretty much like Ferk's going to have the same issue, but at least Ferk, we can go down on Friday, come back Sunday, and it's only an hour drive for us for Ferkation, so it's not really so bad. Like we can leave 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll have basically all of Friday night, because it won't be the entire day there. We can leave at like 4:30 and get there for 5:30, and by the time we've unpacked everything and done everything, we've still got like a couple of hours in the evening, so we've still got 2 nights. Large Faculty Barbecue. Do you want to do a barbecue? We can do a barbecue. I'm down for a barbecue, but you'll have to cook. I quite like your sausage. What's the spiciest thing I've ever eaten? I had a ghost chili once and didn't even notice how hot it was for the first like 20 seconds. And everyone was like looking at me expectantly, waiting for me to be like, ah! And then I was like, okay. And then I suffered. And then I was in some pain. But I did wait a little bit to have that happen. I was a bit like, eh? I like mild spicy. I would say if you've got like a scale of 1 to 5, like say Nando's, I can definitely do the medium. I can sometimes do the hot. I can't do the very hot, but like between 3 and 4 on that scale, it tends to be my boundary. Do you eat food that's past its expiration date if it still smells and looks fine? I'm a fox. I raid bins. Of course I do. I just knock bins over. I just eat anything out there. I don't know. I don't know if that half-eaten slice of pizza had an expiration date. I just had it straight down. Num 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 num. It was gone. My neighbours hate it. Ever since they're like, we don't know why, but these two guys moved in next door, and ever since then, people keep nicking food out of our bins. They don't have a clue, and it's delicious. It only sucks because if I'm lactose and gluten intolerant, I have to knock on their door and ask them what they've got in the bin, just in case I'm allergic to it. It's a little bit awkward, but you know, I make it work. What is my favourite sport? I'm going to be an ass and probably say to watch competitively Dota, because I'm going to count esports as that. I like rugby, but I don't like rugby enough to like sit down and watch it half the time. I tend to just watch if it's on, but I will actively go out of my way to watch Dota. Yeah, so I'm going to count that because I'm going to say if I have to say a sport, I'm going to have to say an esports. That's the only one I will specifically sit down and watch, and I will actually watch it. Like rugby's okay, and I will sit and watch it, but I don't like enough. I don't like any traditional sports enough to sit down to watch them, but I will for esports, so I'm going to have to count those. You dislike rugby? Well, I dislike you, so I guess the change just goes down, doesn't it? That was mean, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, guys, don't tell him. Football is definitely a thing. People leave. People leave. Yes, I'll bring on 2022. I'd love to. Yeah. Come on. What is my favorite song, musical artist? Favorite artist, Bring Me the Horizon. Bring Me the Horizon, and then followed by Fall Out Boy, which is a little bit of two different things, but my favorite song ever is probably Drown by Bring Me the Horizon, but I also have a really, really soft spot for Enjoy Your Cold Shower and Your Cry, Memphis. I probably shouldn't be laughing. Enjoy crying! Loser. I love you, really. Please don't leave me. My favorite. I also have a sweet spot for Sugar We're Going Down. I love that song. I've loved that song because it's the first song I ever played live when I was playing with a band. When I was doing like music in college, it's the first song I ever played live. Sugar We're Going Down. And then I played Green Day. I haven't listened to Green Day in years, so I know which one stuck with me more. What inanimate object would be the most annoying if it had loud, upbeat music while being used? I hate where my mind went first with that because it was absolutely a filthy thought. And it would still be funny because it depends how upbeat it would be. Like, would it get better, like, the more you got? That's the only thing I can think of. Like, would it get more muffled? Where's the music coming from? The top of the bass? Do you think it would be funny if that Chance played Take a Chance on Me, but like it like came out of the top, so it just got more muffled? I bet you did. Scotland are rubbish. Scotland are rubbish at a great many things, except making alcohol. They're great at making alcohol. That should be the national sport. You guys could. But yes, it turns out I'm just going to answer it lewd because I am a filthy individual. Would you ever consider speedrunning a game not exclusive to Nintendo console? Considering today I ran Banjo-Kazooie on my Xbox, I'm going to say yes. But that's probably the furthest I'm going to go in terms of like... Wait till you get to my age, Blue. You get sophisticated. Oh wait, you and sophisticated don't go together. Oh, hi Memphis. Have a good evening. I will speak to you soon. Yeah, so I played a Banjo-Kazooie on my Xbox today, so I'm gonna say yes, I would consider doing it, but probably not too much further. There's not many games. I did say I would consider for the next 12-hour challenge doing something completely out of my comfort zone as a speedrun, so like something on the PlayStation or something, but that would be subject. I don't know. Like I tend to favor Nintendo stuff because those are the games I play the most, so I'm going to favor speedrunning them. But I'm okay with that. Why does Jags have earrings? They are the earrings I want in real life. Same reason I gave Jags the red fringe before I dyed it red myself. because I wanted it, and then I gave Jax the earrings because I wanted them. The only thing he doesn't have is I've got an ear bar. I want an ear bar in this ear, in my right ear, and I do actually have the ear bar for this ear, but it doesn't look as good because it like attaches to the front back, and it looks a bit weird. So I just leave the and it's a bit much with the tiara as well. It's like quite a lot on one ear and not as much on the other. I quite like the simplicity of just the earrings on one side. But I do want them. In fact, I think post-lockdown, when things start opening up, it's going to be one of the things I do push to do. Because having spoken to my employers, now that I've got new work, they were like, do what you like, we don't care. So I probably will have the ear barber in minimum, and then I might get the ears done later on. How long can you survive in suit without water? About this long, to be honest. I think this is probably my limit now. So I got to take both of my hands off because otherwise I can't pick up the glass and it is very bad. Although this straw is absolutely crap. You know, that was a long time and I basically only took a sip of water. That straw is crap. Can I take it apart? Can I get just one straw in? Ooh. Will that work? It might work. It doesn't work. This is a terrible mistake. But, you know, I'm nearly at the hour mark, which I said I would get to. Because any longer and I could be free. Which is definitely a problem. Even poor dog. Hi, dog. It's like, Dad, you're going to get warm. Please stop. Get some help. Yeah, not long's the answer. It's not a good idea anyway. You shouldn't force yourself to try over to high without water. What is my best joke? My own speedruns. my Breath of the Wild one is a pretty funny joke. Second to last place on the leaderboard. Awful. Come on. What movie can I watch over and over without getting tired of? Not Zootropolis. Probably Sing, actually, which is a film that I tend to think aged pretty well. No, I'm not. I'm a musky husky. Yeah, I'm gonna have a shower. I'm absolutely gonna go have a shower after this. I am like mank. I already know I am. Soon the dog will walk out of the room because she's gonna think it as well. What would your perfect bar look like? It would just be whiskey and Jaeger. Can I sing? I will tell you a story about singing. In between my A-levels and me starting work at my last place of work, I went to music college for a year, right? And they've been teaching that course for 10 years. Hi, the old brewer. I would tell you how fluffy my tail is, but I'm not actually wearing it at the moment because I have to sit down in my chair. I actually am not wearing my tail at all at the moment, so my tail's in there. So my tail at the moment is completely unfluffy because it's not on. Yeah, I went to music college for 10 years. And one of the modules we had to do in music college was singing. And in 10 years, only one person ever failed that module. And it was me. And my singing was so bad that not only... my tail got shot. Not only was my singing so bad that I failed the module on the individual level, but in the group sessions, they had to take me out of a choir because my singing was so off-key, it was throwing other people off. Like, if we were supposed to be hitting like a C in singing, my own singing was so bad, we were bringing the tone out of C. That's how bad my singing was. It was genuinely completely the entire class was like, please just go do something else. Luckily enough, my theory, considering I went in not knowing theory at all, my theory was so good that I still got a pass for the rest of the year because I carried myself. Yeah, my singing is not good. But yeah, that I carried myself through the rest of the year, though I never finished the qualification, so it was a waste of time anyway. But my music theory was good enough that I didn't need to learn to sing, luckily. Karaoke Street went never. I already agreed when I hit if I ever got to partner, I've already agreed that I would do Breath of the Wild 100%. You're not getting the karaoke stream as well. Would we ever consider getting a cat? We did actually talk about it not too long ago. Oh god, it's you. This is where it isn't who I think it is, and I've made a terrible mistake. We did actually consider getting a cat. We did talk about it, but we decided in the end that if we were going to get another pet, we just get another dog. So we probably wouldn't bother with a cat. Cats are assholes. Hey, we have a cat. He's called Tamari. He's an ass. He's an emu. He's an asshole. If you get that, 10 points. How hard has the pandemic been on your mental state of mind? It sucked. I'm not a complete extrovert. I wouldn't say I'm a complete extrovert, but I do tend to like get my social batteries recharged by going into. Hunter got it. Yes, someone got it. I tend to enjoy going to like large events, getting my social battery completely filled up, and then I will take a couple of weeks where I'm all right by myself because I haven't had that. I'm desperate for like a large meetup. I'm saying like going over a friend's house and doing stuff, and like going to work, and even like going to meals and stuff with people from work now is great. But I need like an actual event to go to. I need to like completely recharge, like an ESL style event where I like watch Dota or something. Just a loads of people around me. I need it badly because I really am struggling without it. It does suck. But anyone who says they're struggling, you are absolutely not alone. Everyone's suffering right now. How much have you missed hugs with friends during the pandemic? I've missed seeing people. If I could do the socially distant thing, if I could see people, but I had to be socially distanced and couldn't hug them, completely fine. I'd rather see them than that. The only thing I really miss is probably hugging my parents and seeing like my baby niece and my baby nephew. Being able to see those and hug those has sucked more, to be honest. I could give up hugging friends for the next 2 years if we could have more events where they're socially distanced, as long as I could interact with my family better, because I miss that more, to be honest. What are my plans for the summer? Speedrunning. So, this is my current plan. I don't think any events are going to be on, that's all as fuck. So if I can get out and do stuff out of the house, I will. Otherwise, I'm going to do every single Zelda game casually, except Zelda 2, Blue. Might speedrun some of them. I might speedrun Glitchless Majora's Mask, certainly. I'm thinking of it. And I'm going to concentrate on Banjo-Kazooie, probably, as a speedrun, unless I have a compelling reason to go back to Wind Waker, like races or events. But yeah, that's pretty much my plan. Streaming stuff, working on maybe personal projects, learning a lot more for work. I'm not speedrunning Zelda 2. Dark Souls Blind playthrough. I'm actually thinking about making that my next sub goal. Dark Souls Blind. I might make it like my 100 sub goal to do Dark Souls Blind, because I'll buy it on my Switch. I will buy it on my Switch, I promise. I don't care about Elden Ring. Only nerds care about Elden Ring. Sorry, the other kind of nerd. I should specify. I will buy if I make my sub goal 100 for Dark Souls Blind playthrough, is that what you want? Because I will do that. I will do that. Maybe I'll do that after Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I don't know. We'll see. When you are old, I am old. Hi Bladen, how you doing? What do you think children will ask you to tell stories about? Hi Aiden, how you doing? I suspect probably they'll ask me stories about the time the entire world stopped, because I think most kids in the future will ask about that, to be honest with you. And what was the world like pre-pandemic, if there's still some effects of it? Would you like to play something like Among Us for stuff? I had, actually, only this afternoon I had the thought of whether I would put something up like a poll or something in the Discord of what I could do as a community event. And I was thinking like Rocket League's a big one. Whether anybody wants to play Dota, if I've got some followers who want to play Dota, and we could do that once a week. I don't know about Among Us, I've never played it, but I was certainly considering what I could do as a community-centric thing to like complement these. So like if I do a Fursuit Q&A stream or AMA stream like once a month, then set up something on the other side, so it's every 2 weeks. So it's like this week is Fursuit, in 2 weeks' time it's a community stream, then the 2 weeks after it's Fursuit, then 2 weeks after, and I'll do it like once a month and stack it, and then if it does really well, I'll like bring it in every week. But it's something I have been thinking about, I promise. Like Super Mario Party is another one I was thinking of. Well, I've got nieces and nephews, so I guess I'm gonna have to deal with kids. Actually, I love my niece. But I was teaching my niece how to get my dog to do commands, and like showing her how to feed her treats and getting her, because she's like a little nervy around Ellie, because Ellie's super excitable and she was a little nervy, so I was trying to get her to like learn how to interact with the dog and like teach her to do stuff to like try and get her a bit more comfortable with the dog, and that was nice. I was quite happy with that. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, these are the questions I was on about the other day, where someone's asked me a question and then answered it themselves, and I don't quite get why. I've never asked someone a question and then immediately answered it. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire would be a much worse show if that happened, to be honest. Unless someone was coughing in the audience, of course, in which case it doesn't matter. What's the sweetest thing I have ever done for someone? I don't know, really. Well, to be fair, my nephew... Well, we've got the one nephew who I haven't seen as much. And my other nephew is, like, 6 months old, so, like, kids are basically useless to 3 years old. There's no point to them. But even then, it's only until they're, like, 5 or 6 you can actually, like, talk to them and they say funny stuff is when they matter. Up till there, it doesn't matter, really, does it? Like, they're basically useless. They just look at them like, it's like owning a pet fish. Like, you still got to look after the damn thing, but it doesn't really give you anything in return. It's only when they're older and they're kind of like a dog that it's funny. I don't really know. There's probably examples of where, like, I've driven somewhere and done something, or I mean, my ex-girlfriend I took on holiday because she definitely like had never experienced going on holiday, so I took her on holiday. You know, there's stuff like that. There's probably lots of little experiences of things I've done. Like every single day, I would say me and do something sweet for each other. Like even just like a tiny bit of thoughtfulness, like making sure the food's there, or make sure there's loads of little stuff. But I don't think there's anything where I'd say, yeah, this specific thing I did. Probably because it sounds slightly like I did this thing, so it's not really altruistic. It's the sweetest thing you ever did, and you like memorize it to the point where you can like lay it out immediately. Like it's not really altruism if you've got that in the bank. Like, look how good a person I am. Like, yeah, but it's more about the little things you do constantly to think about other people. So what is something you have borrowed and never given back? Apparently, money. Probably money, actually. I got one of my friend's books in this house still, and I borrowed that like 10 years ago. Although I think he's got one of my books, so... Actually, if he's still here, Jimens, I still got your copy of Zero Punctuation's book. I borrowed that like 10 years ago, and I still got it here. I think it's yours anyway. I'm pretty sure the Mogworld, that's the one, Mogworld. I think I still have your copy of Mogworld. And I borrowed that like 10 years ago, minimum. And I think I've still got it. I think it's yours anyway. I don't remember buying it for myself. If you've got a copy in your house right now, I don't have your copy. Otherwise, I definitely have your copy. But I think you have my copy of Sky Raider, the Edge Chronicles book. Because I can't find it. And I seem to remember borrowing it, giving it to someone. I might still have your copy of Mogworld, I'm not going to lie. I borrowed that like 10 years ago. Borrowed that so long ago. Probably even longer. I still got it. It's over there somewhere. Do you want it back? Yeah, absolute travesty. The last question, I can't scroll down to it because it's the way I've set up my page. Clever, right? Pandemonium. Do you mean reunion? And also it's an A, not an E. That was my old band, Pandemonium. If you guys are particularly interested, I'll show you our old music, but it wasn't great. Our best song was the song I wrote about jumping out of an alley and killing someone. You can tell what kind of kid I was. It says, who is your favourite celebrity? Don't have one. Generally don't care. Maybe one of the Top Gear or Grand Tour guys, but they're kind of assholes outside of that as well. Yeah, that's the last of the questions off there. So now it's just down to you guys. If you're particularly interested, I will find some of the music for you. I don't mind. I can do that probably. Although I think it's got my real name on it, so I might be a little bit iffy about doing that. I used to be on Spotify. We did used to be on Spotify for a bit. Not that we got any viewers, followers. It was like 2 or 3 maybe, like yearly that we got on there. It wasn't really much. But yeah, it did used to be on Spotify. Pretty cool. In fact, we recorded our EP with the drummer of Lost Prophets. Is there a cocktail you've not tried that you really want to get? The problem with cocktails is 90% of them are made with vodka, and I can't drink vodka. It makes me throw up. How did you grow out of the phrase about killing songs about writing? How did you get out of the phrase of writing songs about jumping out of an alley and killing people? Well, once you've actually done it, you find it isn't exciting enough to write songs about anymore. It's like when you really dream about doing something, when you actually get to doing it, it's not that exciting. So once you've done it once, you're like, oh, I don't really want to write a song about it anymore, because I've already done it once. It's not particularly exciting. Yeah, it's just what it is, what it is. Like, you just gotta move on with your life, I guess. Just an average night out in Cardiff. Yeah, basically. Sometimes I feel like God, Birmingham. So when we went to ESL Birmingham, and Blue will confirm that me and Nina were idiots because we were the cheapskates and we were like, right, I'm going to buy a hotel for £100 for the entire weekend, right? And it was about 2-3 miles away from Birmingham Arena. We had to walk through Birmingham and all through these back streets to get there. And honest to God, in the night specifically, I was like, we're not walking back through there. We'll go round the long way. I am not walking through those streets at night. Like, I remember walking down one of them, and there was like this massive group of people. Like, absolutely massive group of people. And I was literally just like, just don't look at them. Just walk like this. Like, just do not look. And when Foxes take over, that was the joke I was making, sweetie. But yeah, it was like a 3-mile walk. And then the hotel was crap because it had mold in the corner. It was horrible. It was a terrible decision. I don't know why we made it. And not only did we do it, we did it 2 years in a row. Because the second year, we did the same thing. We went back to the same hotel and it was still crap. And we still had the crap walk, but I still insisted on doing it the cheap way instead of staying, like, in Birmingham Centre. Yeah, like, you stayed right next to Birmingham Centre. We had to walk 3 miles there, 3 miles back. And on the second ESL, on the second to last day, I was really ill before the end of the playoffs, and I had to walk 3 miles back whilst feeling really sick and having a headache back to the hotel just to have some, like, something to help me feel better. Yeah, I did it. It's one of those things, like, we did it the first year, we were like, right, that was a really bad idea. Like, we had to walk 3 miles, it took ages, we had to get up early, get home late, couldn't eat properly. And then the next year, we were like, I'm going to do it again, actually. It was, yeah, this won't be a problem, I'll just do it again. I don't know why. It was such a dumb idea. I don't know why. Anyway, if you guys got any more questions, feel free, but I'm going to try and wrap it up in the next couple of minutes because I am now disgustingly warm and I very much need to go have like a shower and some alcohol. And prep for whatever I do next week. Apart from Conquest Bad Fur Day. I know I'm doing Conquest Bad Fur Day on Friday because I owe it. Because I skipped last week because of Pokemon. Which I didn't end up paying off anyway, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm doing another Pokemon randomizer. I might do another Zelda randomizer. I'm really thinking about doing an Ocarina of Time randomizer. Because I've never played Ocarina of Time on the stream. And I've seen a couple of Ocarina of Time randomizers. And they look like fun. How long does it take to clear my suit? In terms of like real time, in terms of time I have to do it, isn't that long because I just take the entire thing except the head, dump it in the washing machine, and then just take it out and dry it. So like, in terms of my actual involvement, probably the longest bit is waiting for it to dry off and then brushing it through. It doesn't really take that long. It's just making sure it's all in there properly and you've got all this proper stuff in there. So I'd say maybe an hour of total time. It's more the head that's a problem because I haven't really, like, short of like making sure the inside is all sprayed out and making sure the outside is all brushed off, and like I'll occasionally run like a very soft brush vacuum over the outside of it to keep any dust and anything off it to keep it fresh. I need to get one of the like proper spot cleaner carpet cleaners on it because that's better. Enjoy life. I've never seen it, to be honest, so I wouldn't be able to answer your question. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I need to get one of the, like, we're looking to get one of the spot cleaners soon, actually, so we can do the suit heads. But the rest of the suit bodies. And again, you don't really need to clean them that often, because I wear a layer between it. I clean it down every time I do it. Certainly, I can make sure it's all cleaned down and sprayed off so it's all lovely. And I make sure it's all brushed out properly. So I only really wash it, like, when I've done something particular with it. Like, now, like, I've done this. Won't really need to wash it. I'll just spray off all the inside with an alcohol wipe, and it's completely fine. I make sure it's all brushed out and like hang out somewhere to air out properly. It's not like shoved in a cupboard and closed up. That's fine. But before I do, like, say Confuzzled or like a London meat, it will absolutely get a wash after that. Because you don't want to, it's a bit of a mix of, you don't want to, it's kind of like bathing a dog. You don't want to do it too soon because you'll damage it and you don't really want to do that. You don't want to damage the dog. But you can't leave it too long. Maybe. I don't know. My life story isn't terribly interesting, to be honest. Like, my life before 22 and my life after 22 are completely different scenarios. Like, even if you ask Nino about it, like, everything I did up to when I was 22, basically none of it is the same anymore. Not even really, like, with the exception of, like, a couple of things, like, I still play the same games. But I don't even really like most of the same music anymore. Like, there were quite a lot of music I used to listen to back then. It was a bit heavier, and now I've shifted out a bit. Like, 22 completely changed. So, like, enjoy my life would be like, this is completely different to this section. Doing it from 22 onwards would be fine, like, me and Nino, get in the house, all that. Really nice stuff. After 22 is just, like, weird. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it day, because it is now an hour and 15 minutes, and I am dying of death. I definitely won't be streaming any other day this week other than Friday, I can't imagine. Maybe Thursday if I find an excuse to do it. But if I do stream Thursday, I don't know what I would do. Maybe I would do more Banjo-Kazooie practice? I could be tempted if people really want to see me practice. It's difficult, but I could do it, I guess. Yeah, thank you for everyone who came. I really appreciate it, as always. Let's go have a look, see who's online to raid, shall we? Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun with it. It's very good. What's Kanamau doing? What's I raid Karen again? Always a fan of raiding my boy Karen. Unless you guys particularly want to go see E3. Yeah, otherwise, I don't think it'll be Thursday. I'd be surprised if I did anything Thursday. But I will definitely be... I can see Artie's already in there. But yeah, I will catch you guys very soon. Alright, I'll try and think. Yeah. I miss you too. But I'm actually going to Canada for my honeymoon, so I might even be able to see you then, although I think Banff's a fair bit away from where you are.
This entire stream's just going to be me trying to beat this damn boss from the looks of things. What I'm going to do...
As always, it has been an absolute pleasure to spend my evening with you guys. I will catch you again very, very soon. Have a very good week. Don't do anything I would do, certainly, because I do terrible things. And...
Goodbye. I'm just confused at one part. The whole game seems confusing for me, but